name of the chapter is Glimpses of the Past. As we all know that Britishers governed India for almost 200 years, from 1757 to 1947, 15 August 1947. In this period, they occupy the states of India one by one. First they started a small company, then they covered that state after one by fighting towards to our kings. They occupy India finally, and with the lot of efforts of our great revolutionaries and leaders, we were able to find freedom from them on 15th August 1947. So this chapter, The Glimpses of Past, tells us about the incident, what they did in the period 1757 to 1857, what were their idea, what was their plan, how they worked in this period, how they covered India, how they got triumph on our kings. So everything we will read in this chapter, and some bubbles are given in this chapter. As you can see here, this bubble, these are the words spoken by the characters, the persons of that time, and on that rectangular box, the events, means about the concept about which thing this topic is going to be, it is given in that rectangular box. So let's start from the martyrs. The martyrs at a function in Delhi. As we can see in this picture, Lata Mangeshkar, and here Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and Indira Gandhi. At a function, Lata Mangeshkar was singing a famous song which is based on patriotism. Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with the tears as you recall the sacrifices of Indian martyrs. So what he is saying, the song is in Hindi, we can say the famous song, ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों जरा आंख में भर लो पानी, आंसू जो भी हो, एंड जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी. लता मंगेशकर जी का फेमस सॉन्ग है, हम सब जानते हैं. तो ये एक फंक्शन में उन्होंने गाया था जहां पे कौन कौन थे? लाल बहादुर शास्त्री, पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू और इंदिरा गांधी जी. नाउ द कंपनीज कॉन्क्वेस्ट. Company conquest means how they started developing, how they started conquering over the Indians. With the superior weapons, the British East India Company was extending its power in 18th century India. In India, the Indian fighters, the Indian persons generally had normal qualities of weapons such as swords and bamboos, these kind of things. But the British army, the Britishers were well equipped with the modern at that time, the modern and superior weapons. In this image, we can see the pink area is covered by the British territory, and the other part is Indian territory. Indian princes were short-sighted, means they were unable to see the future, means what they are going to do, what will be the result of their deeds in future. They were unable, they were very short-sighted. That upstairs Raja called the English merchants, they will help me to defeat them. Means one king called the other English people to fight against another king. Means they used to take help from Britishers to fight against their enemy, the other kings. वो क्या करते थे? जो एक राजा दूसरे राजा से लड़ने के लिए अंग्रेजों की सहायता लेता था, इस तरह से वो उसको पराजित करते थे और उनको कुछ जब वो आपकी तरफ से लड़ते हैं तो उनको कुछ हेल्प के लिए कुछ देते थे, तो वो कोई एरिया मांग लेते थे या कुछ अपना हिस्सा मांग लेते थे। दिस वे दे स्टार्टेड कवरिंग द एरियाज। द राइवलरीज हेल्प द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी and it could easily subdue Indian princes one by one। जो अब ऐसे ही in this way they started fighting and when they had one king against other king, they used to take something from them. In this way they started defeating one by one and at last they defeated almost every Indian king and established themselves as a governor. A far-seeing ruler like the brave Tipu of Mysore fought the Britishers till he died fighting. Means some of the kings were also far-sighted. Means they were able to see that what will be the result of our fighting. So one of the king was Tipu Sultan, who was the king of Mysore, who fought against Britishers till his last breath, and he died by fighting them. And but till his last breath, he was always against the Britishers. Now the bubbles come, and thank God there is peace in the country now. No more wars and no looting by thugs. It is God who sent the Britishers. Our destiny is linked with them. How did India react to these conflicts? Means अब जो ये लड़ाइयाँ होती थी उन पे इंडियंस कैसे रिएक्ट करते थे? They used to say that now we are safe. If Britishers will rule us, we will be safe. We will be safe because there will be no robbers. We will not be looted. So these were their thoughts that now they are going to be safe. But they were not well known with the plans of Britishers. The white man has killed or dethroned our kings. Some kings were not good, but after all, they were of this land. Now we have become slaves of foreigners. There are two parts. Some were talking that they are safe in the hands of Britishers, and the other were talking that Britishers have dethroned, means they have occupied the throne of king, and now we are slaves of the British white men, means the Britishers. Now British rules. Now they have started making their rules, and we were forced to follow them. अब वो लोग अपने रूल्स बनाने लगे थे ब्रिटिशर्स। ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो रूल बनाती थी उसको इंडियन को फॉलो करना ही पड़ता था। रिलीजियस लीडर्स प्रीच्ड आइडियाज लाइक अनटचेबिलिटी एंड चाइल्ड मैरिज। एनीवन हु क्रॉसेस द सी लॉसेस हिज रिलीजन। ऑल द माइजरी इन द वर्ल्ड इज ड्यू टू वुमेन। मीन्स जो रिलीजियस पर्सन थे, सेंट्स एंड अदर रिलीजियस पर्सन, दे यूज्ड टू प्रीच इन द वे दैट they used to say that one who crosses the sea, the person who crosses the sea has lost his religion. Means जो समुद्र को पार करता है उसका धर्म भ्रष्ट हो जाता है। All the miseries in the world are because of women. Means जो भी वर्ल्ड में miseries होती हैं, all the miseries that happens, even it's disaster or anything that happens, they blame. The women were blamed for all those. The truth was that India had lost self-respect. The British scorned them. The natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty. True, Your Honor, but I am honest. Means now some of the Indians were so selfish that they went to the Britishers and said that our natives are not able to be trusted, means they are not trustworthy. You can believe on me, I will be your true sepoy, means I will work for you. In this way they help them to govern India, means अपने ही घर में, अपने ही देश में, अपने देश वालों के खिलाफ बोल के वो सोचते थे कि हम इनके वफादार बन जाएंगे. Being merchants, the British wanted quick profits. Their heavy taxes forced farmers to abandon their fields. जो Britishers were, what were they? They were merchants. They wanted profit from India. They had came to India for their business. It was not sure that their ambition was to govern India completely. They had just established a company to make the merchandise with Indians, means to do their business. So now when they started making rules in India, now they forced Indian to give heavy taxes. So now Indians were unable to pay the amount of tax, so they left their fields vacant, means they did not sow anything in their fields. But your men are taking all my crops. You are still in areas. If you don't pay next week, I will send you jail. When the Indian people went to the British officers and tell him about the sequences that Britishers used to do, Britishers soldiers used to do, they occupy the fields, they took all the grains from the fields. So when the Indian farmers told this thing to the officers in British army, their reply was that you are still in that area, it is enough. If you are going to raise question again these things, or you are not paying the tax, we will smash this field and we will send you to the jail. Still the British invented the other methods which gave them more profit. Even they have captured all these things, they have started snatching the fields, snatching the grains, snatching all the crops of field. After all this, they invented some new ways to gain more profit. And what were these? Let's see. The goods manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought to India. When anything comes from foreign country, government of India takes its duty, means tax for doing business in India. But when British started governing India, they overruled these things, means they denied these rules. The goods coming from England were not able to be given duty, means they denied to give duty tax on the goods that were coming from England. Okay, a good deal. The East India Company's laws began to cripple Indian industries. Now these when the things that came from England without any duty, without any charge, was sold in Indian market in less price than Indian goods. So the industries in India became crippled, means getting destroyed day by day. The British policies ruined the expert artisans and their business, means the all workers in India and their art, what you used to do, what was their business, everything was almost finished by the Britishers because of their quality, means the expert Indian used to give the good qualities of things at a proper price, and when Britishers started selling those things in less price, so Indian started buying the things that came from England, and this way the business of Indian businessmen were almost finished, means almost stopped at that moment. Now the fourth thing, Ram Mohan Roy, 1772 to 1833. Ram Mohan Roy, a learned man from Bengal, understood what was wrong with the country. Raja Ram Mohan Rai was the one of the person who understood that what was the plan of British, how they are working in India, and what they are going to do, what will be their next step. He was so learned that he was able to assume, understand these things. Let us not despise ourselves. Our ancient culture is great, and we are capable of greater achievements. We must first reform our society. Superstitions have been ruining us. Means now he was talking to someone that we should be united. We should not ruin our things by ourselves. Means when we are going to work for Britishers, when we are going to purchase things from Britishers, it will occupy our market, and the first thing we have to do is to finish, to stop, to get rid of our superstitions, our orthodoxies, that the things we are doing. राजा राम मोहन राय का कहना था कि पहले हमको अपने यहाँ के जो अंधविश्वास हैं, जो कुरीतियां हैं, उनसे पार पाने की जरूरत है. He told his wife Uma, cows are different colors. Cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Different teachers have different opinions, but essence of every religion is same. He told that there are lot of cows, there are different colors of cow in the world, but when we get milk from them, the color of milk is same, the quality of milk is same, but in the same way, there are different religions, and every religion has their own teachers. So what they teach can be different from other religion, but the concept that we get from those things are the same. उनके कहने का मतलब था कि हमारे देश में, हमारे संसार में कई कलर की गायें हैं, लेकिन उनका दूध एक ही कलर का है. इसी प्रकार से कई सारे धर्म हैं, लेकिन उन धर्मों का निचोड़, जो उनका सार है, एक ही है. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये धर्म लाल को पीला कहता है और ये पीले को लाल. दोनों में जो समानताएं हैं, जो धर्म का सार है, जो उनके ज्ञान का सार है, वो एक ही है. He was attracted by science and modern knowledge. Means the other person at that time were very religious. They were bound with the traditions, the superstitions, but Raja Ram Mohan Rai was a modern man, and he was affected with science. Means he was well known of science. Knowledge should be practical and scientific. He believed that knowledge should be practical. Means we should, the knowledge that we have, we should utilize it. We should practicalize it. He crossed the sea and went to England to see what made the British powerful. There he told them. He went to England as the preachers of India, the teachers of India have said that one who crosses the land, the sea, the person crosses land lost his religion. But in spite of this thing, he crossed the religion, crossed the sea, went to England and saw why they are so powerful. We accept your rule. We accept you as rulers, and you must accept us as subject. But you must remember the responsibility a ruler owes to his subjects. He told him that we are slave of you. We are slave of yours, and we accept you our ruler. But you should also accept us as your subject. मीन्स हमने आपको अगर रूलर की तरह एक्सेप्ट किया है, तो आपको भी हमको सब्जेक्ट, प्रजा की तरह एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए. राजा की प्रजा के प्रति क्या जिम्मेदारी होती है? व्हाट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ अ रूलर टुवर्ड्स हिज सब्जेक्ट? यू मस्ट फॉलो दैट, यू मस्ट अप्लाई ऑन योरसेल्फ. मतलब जो भी राजा और प्रजा के बीच में आपसी जिम्मेदारियां होती है, प्रजा की प्रजा पर, वो तब आपको करना चाहिए. He started newspaper, but the suspicious British stopped them in 1823. राजा राम मोहन राय ने एक न्यूज़पेपर भी स्टार्ट किया, बट the Britishers were afraid of that paper, that Indian will get awareness from his newspaper, so he stopped that newspaper in 1823. Operations. But the British continued to oppress Indians. In 1888 they had passed Regulation 3. Under it, an Indian could be jailed without trial in a court. They, in spite of the conversation between Raja Ram Mohan Rai and British rulers, they continued their oppression against Indians. They oppressed in the way that they could send every Indian to jail without any trial in court. You can't raise a question why you are sending me to jail. This was not right for Indian that time. All the time British officers in India drew a big salaries and also made fortunes in private business. The Britishers who were working in India in that industry, they get a good salary and making the everything privatized. Means Indian government was running some companies and some other things. They stopped everything and started doing privatize all the things under them. In 1829, Britain was exporting British goods worth 7 crore rupees to India. Now they have started doing business at a great rate. Means their amount of money, amount of business was rising regularly. Now they are going to export the amount, the goods of 7 crore. Governor General Bentinck reported back home. The bones of cotton weavers are bleaching the plains of India. British proposed on the company's loot while Indian industries began to die. When they started using so much amount, the Indian industry started getting die. Means they had not so much amount, they had not so much worker. So the industries like cotton industries, they almost got dead. Means almost stopped, because when a large amount of Britishers came to India, they started their business. Now they have started investing more. They were exporting more things. So the things that used to be made in India were getting dead. Now dissatisfaction. 1835-56. When all these things were happening in India, then it was obvious that if you are being tortured at every time, then one day you will realize that it's not good for me. You will raise your voice against that. So now it was time that Indians started raising their voice, and this was the dissatisfaction of Indian that forced him to raise their voice against the British. Education in India was in Persian and Sanskrit. In 1835, an Englishman named Macaulay suggested a change. In starting in India, there were two languages used, the Persian and Sanskrit. But Lord Macaulay, an English person, who suggested an idea to start English education in India. English education produced clerks to whom the British gave pretty jobs under them. Incidentally, it also produced a new generation of intellectuals. We must educate our brothers and try to improve their material conditions. For that, we must convey our grievance to British Parliament. Means they started when they started English education in India, Then some Indian also, and the person who were well known of English, who were well qualified in English, they used to get a good job and at a good salary. So Indian also, some of Indian also thought that they should also learn English, because if we will learn English, we will able to be get good jobs in English industries. By 1856, the British had conquered the whole of India. Means it was 1856. When you can see this map, the pink is British area. The pink area is British area. So they had covered the almost area of our land. They cared little about the needs of India. Our kings have become puppets, and we have lost our jobs. Now, when they started, they occupied everything. They captured our kings. They started business. They finished the Indian business. Now, Indian people, what did Indian people think that our kings who governing on them are just puppets of the Britishers. Means जो ब्रिटिश के पर्सन, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट, जो ब्रिटिश कंपनी कहती है, वही हमारे पुपेट्स मीन्स हमारे किंग्स करते हैं. एंड लैंड्स दे आर कन्वर्टिंग आवर ब्रदर्स. You only do something to drive them out. Now the dissatisfaction was starting. The people had started talking to each other that they are converting our brothers in English person, and they have almost occupied our all area, our industries. So it was obvious to be dissatisfied. This path means now a little revolution was getting started. Taxes continued to ruin the peasants in Bengal, and Santhals, who had lost their lands under new land rules, became desperate. In 1855, there was the rebellion and massacred Europeans and their supporters alike. Now the British had taken the lands from India in Bengal. Means the peasant, the farmers, the other workers working there, they have taken everything from them. So they started to take their things. They started a revolution. Means they started denying their things. They started raise their voice against them. This conflict was brewing in the East India Company's army too. The white means now when a spark started from West Bengal, the Indian in the British army, the Indian working persons means the soldiers working in British army had also been dissatisfied with them, because the British soldiers were getting more salary for the same work, and they were getting less salary for the same work. Thousands of other sepoys revolted. They were stripped of their uniforms, humiliated and put in irons. Now when dissatisfaction started, they started to complain against them. They started denying their work. So it was a revolution that started from Bengal, and now they were one who was starting any revolution against British. They were killed and or they were sent to the jail. Sepoy Mangal Pandey attacked the adjutant of his regiment and was executed. One of the sepoys of British Army, who was an Indian person, Mangal Pandey, he killed the adjutant of his regiment, and he was hanged to the death. Few Englishmen had cared to understand the Indian customs or the people's mind. some of the English officers who used to understand the mind of Indian, that how we should work for them or how we should make them satisfied. Oh, proud army soldiers, do you know that the gas on the bullet you have to bite is made from the fat of cows and pigs? What the white man deceived us to. Means then some of the soldiers told them that the thing that you pull from your teeth, pull from your mouth, was made of the fat of cows and pigs, and it was again the religion of Brahmins. They never used to touch even the flesh or fat of any animal. So they also became disagree, and dissatisfaction was obvious here. Soon chapatis were sent from village to village to tell the people that their emperor would want their service. Yes, all my village men will be ready. Means now it was a plan to send to the villagers, to every person, invitation, information that we are going to fight against the British, and it was sent through a chapati in which something was written, and their consent was asked that you are ready to fight or not, and almost everyone was replying that yes, we are with our kings, that we also want freedom from these Britishers. Similarly, lotus flowers circulated among Indian soldiers, and in villages chapatis were sent, and in soldiers the lotus, a flower, was sent to every person. Death to the foreigner. And it was a statement that we want death of foreigners. Now the revolt, final thing, which took place in 1857. Then there was violent outbreak at Meerut. The British army and the Indian